Hi everyone, I'm Heather Poduska, star maker to entrepreneurs who want to unlock their potential and command any stage. Welcome to Thrive, the show where I bring you tips, resources, and people to help you create a more abundant life and business. You are in for high-value content coming to you from industry leaders who are growing their business, making an impact, and rocking their brands. Welcome to the show. Here we go. Hi everyone, I'm Heather Poduska, founder of the Brand Star Academy, where I teach entrepreneurs how to become powerful, profitable speakers and create their own celebrity personal brands. Welcome to this episode of Thrive, from incarceration to inspiration, with my guest, Nilton Serva. Nilton Serva is the co-founder and the CEO of SERVAMEDIA, where he teaches small and mid-sized business owners how to integrate and leverage new technologies to increase their revenues. But before Nilton was the CEO of his own company, he had a troubled past. When he was young, his father was incarcerated, and it threw Nilton's family into a tailspin, and he found himself on the streets, in trouble, and ultimately in his own incarceration, not once, but twice. And it was during that second time that Nilton decided to turn his life around. He found books, and not just any books, books on inspiration, books on personal development and entrepreneurship. And he devoured them and committed to changing his life. He eventually got out of incarceration, got off probation, and went to college and started his own company. And now Nilton is reaching back and helping other people. He's an avid speaker. He spoke at Stanford University, and he has a new talk coming up at TED Talk this fall. He blew me away. His heart, his conviction, his discipline and dedication. I know that someone who's listening to this podcast really needs to hear this message. So it made me thrilled to be able to share this message and to share Nilton's story on Thrive today. We talked about his journey of how he ended up incarcerated, what he specifically did to change his mindset. It wasn't just a bolt of lightning and ta-da, it was all different. There was a process that he went through, a process of discipline, alignment, and exploration. And he shares what that was on this episode. We also talk about what it means to be impactful as a leader and his version of being a leader, of not necessarily impacting the whole world at once, but starting at home and having that really strong ripple effect. And also his belief about what it means to be a leader, what it means to actually be a powerful entrepreneur, not just someone chasing money, hot cars, and women, but socially, globally, having innovative ideas and making connections. And we talked about how he and I connected. We connected through social media. And I love that we connected through social media because I have been following the idea of alignment, following flow, following intuition. And you wouldn't think that someone from Boston who's in the suburbs with 3 kids and would hook up with someone from California who is 19 and been incarcerated, but we did because we both followed our intuitive feeling about this path that was on. And I'm so glad because his story is so powerful for so many people. And it touched my heart, and I'm thrilled to be able to present Nilton to you here. Also, if you would like to know how to unleash your own powerful personal story to become a profitable, impactful speaker, if you'd like to know how to create your own authentic and powerful personal brand so that you can show up as yourself and really touch people's hearts and bring value and make more money with your business, I'd love to talk to you. You can check out my programs at heatherpoduska.com under the consulting tab, or you can hit me up at heather@clearvoicebranding.com. Also, my free gift to you, as always, you can go to the tab on my homepage and get a 7 email series on how to position yourself as a leader in your industry. Just opt in there. Okay, I really hope you enjoy Nilton as much as I did, and I hope you enjoy this episode of Thrive. I'm Heather Poduska, founder of the Brand Star Academy, where I teach entrepreneurs how to be powerful, profitable speakers and create their own celebrity personal brands. Welcome to this episode of Thrive with my special guest, Nilton Serva. Nilton Serva is the co-founder and the CEO of SERVAMEDIA, a digital media company focused on helping small and medium-sized businesses integrate and leverage new technologies to grow their revenues. Before becoming the CEO of his own company, Nilton's path wasn't so easy. At an early age, his father was incarcerated and Nilton's family struggled. But despite being a bright kid, he started falling behind in school, which amplified his presence on the streets, getting him into trouble, and ultimately getting him in his own incarceration. However, Nilton was determined to turn his life around. He started reading books about entrepreneurship and personal development, and everything changed. Nilton was released, got off probation, started going to college, and founded his very own company. He has gone on to be an avid speaker and presenter. He's presented at Stanford University and even has an upcoming TED Talk. At just 19 years old, Nilton is on a mission to inspire the next generation of doers and problem solvers to change the world. Nilton, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to talk to you.
Hey, I'm really excited to talk to you too, Haley. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit more about your company, what you do with small business owners, and how you're 19 years old, so you must be on the cutting edge of all this new technology. So talk to us a little bit about what you are doing at SERVAMEDIA.
Yeah, so here at SERVAMEDIA, we're really trying to focus on doing the digital marketing and the content marketing for small, medium-sized businesses. We saw a problem with how small, medium-sized businesses are not, reaching the amount of people that they should be, and it's because of the fact that maybe they don't have an online presence, or it's that they're not adapting to these new social media platforms that are coming up. And I think that's something that they need to do in order to survive, especially out here where I live, Antioch, California. We're about an hour and a half away from the Silicon Valley, and some people here don't even have no clue what I talk about. Like, oh, do you guys, use this for your business, Instagram? Do you guys use the business profile? Do you guys know about this type of technology? Like, what? I'm not sure, what that is. And I'm like, that's a problem because we're so close and things will be changing here, especially in Antioch. There's a lot of development going to go on here. We have a lot of new homes and bar and everything, because I'm more onto I understand a little bit of what a little bit of politics of the city itself, because I believe that's something that also creates businesses because of the economic development plans they have here. And me just finding out that information and seeing the future for Antioch, I'm like, it's talking about, business growth and this and that for, more businesses to come here and this and that. But I think they're not seeing that we should be adapting to these new technologies in order to help these businesses grow. So I was like, I want to be the first one out here to help them grow, and as well as myself grow, and see this city of Antioch, really get abundant in businesses, resources, and people.
Cool. So what are 2 or 3 of the technologies that are coming down the pike that people need to know about that they're not paying attention to?
Well, one thing's for sure, I know Snapchat is really going under a lot of, they're still figuring out a few things for how they're going to target businesses, but I know they're trying to launch their own platform. So that's something that when Facebook dropped their platform, their business manager, everyone hopped onto that one. Now they're using the hyper targeting marketing tools and stuff like that to be able to help their businesses grow. So I know Snapchat, I've been reading about it. They still kind of don't know exactly when, but that's something I'm kind of looking forward to. How is that going to work? Also, Snapchat saying they want to do live now, because how the whole live thing has been really picking up, and some businesses are not utilizing that to the full potential. I see a lot of potential with using just live and Snapchat, even if it goes towards what business they do. But the live is more of I see it as something for having every business has its ability to get their message out. It's like their own network. They have a phone. If it's a product, whatever the case, they can really amplify that product or service through that live, where it's the persons are it's like they're logging. It's like they're going for TV. Tune in at 7 p.m. for our new line of combs or whatever they're selling. My hair product and this and that. People are it's anticipation is building. So people are I'm gonna check out their live stream. And even then, the live stream, it sticks for 24 hours. So it's you have the ability to create something live, like a commercial, for to say, and it's there for 24 hours on the top of people's news feed. So anytime they're going like on Instagram or Facebook, they just click it and it's there. It's like quick and easy, and someone can actually see it versus putting it on your feed and it kind of goes all the way down and no one can see it.
That's a great tip, because a lot of people are using social media, but not everybody's doing the stories. So I think that's great, and it's free. So instead of paying for television, TV is kind of like totally changing, and so it's awesome to have someone like you who is so up on the new trends. And I have 3 kids, and they're always telling me about the new things, and I'm like, he's like, Mom, look at this. I'm like, okay, show me how to do that. So I think a lot of people who are older and don't understand how to use these really need services like yours. So it's really amazing. But let's shift gears a little bit. How did you get so smart about entrepreneurship? Can you tell us a little bit about your journey? I mean, I talked about it in the intro, but you've really changed your life around and become this digital expert, but it wasn't an easy path. So tell us a little bit how that happened.
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like I've been entrepreneurial maybe since I'm not sure what age I can say, but for some reason, like after I started watching videos and reading about the traits and all that, I was like, that's how it was, but in a more like in like where I was doing things in the streets, like I was hustling, doing all that stuff, but I always thought about that, like I was always the kid that like like I didn't want to just live the street life and not like pull from it, like where when I'm not making money or something. Like I was like, how do I make money if I'm going to do this? This is my only option. I don't see no future for me in this. Like, how do I get the most out of it? So then I started little did I know I was learning, business tactics and, strategies myself, but I didn't know it in the whole business thing until I actually got incarcerated. When I got incarcerated, I started reading it. And I started reading like that book I told you, The Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That book was like, it's like it explained it in a way where like, oh man, a lot of the things I know already, like it's for something, right? It's business, it's entrepreneurship. I was like, this is what I needed to find out, like in order to be like, this is me, like this is what I'm trying to do. I was trying to move product, I was trying to sell it for this much, my margins were this much and this and that. Like I was like, this is all fitting perfectly for me. And the only other thing that I wanted to do besides entrepreneurship at the time when I was really young was like engineering and like towards technology and stuff like that. But when I really found out like a lot of this was just from being incarcerated, I was like, this is what I wanted to do. I really love entrepreneurship. I really love what it can do for people, how it can, make you free financially, mentally. Like that's something that I really stuck to after I started reading about it. And a lot of the knowledge that I gained was because of reading books while I was incarcerated. I forgot. I have like a notebook. I forgot where I put it, but it's a notebook. What I would do is, this is how the little process I would do, because at the time I didn't know too much word. I didn't even know what the word mentor meant. I got this composition book. I wrote down the book I was going to read. Every quote, every note that stuck to me, I would write it. Anytime it said a word that I didn't understand it, I would write it on another page under words I did not know, and I would make a list. And after that, anytime they mentioned a book or a website, I had another page for resources. Because I couldn't, really get that stuff in there, I said, oh, these are the things I'm going to look up online or find books when I get out. And then I had another section for like, what was it? I forgot that. But like little by little, like as those words, like my list of words kept getting smaller and smaller because I would bring a dictionary. And then as I would read, after I wrote all the words and stuff like that, I would eventually, go back and kind of look it up. That's how I found out what mentor meant. Like a mentor, I asked someone when I was there, one of the probation officers. But I just started doing that, a little process of just, words and this and that, understanding what, those things meant, reading a lot of more books. It wasn't just solely on business either. It was a lot of it was like personal development books, finding yourself and what are you passionate about, things like that. I forgot the name of the books, but yeah, it was things like that. Like I wanted to get grounded, like in understanding who I am and understanding that this really is my passion and what I want to go for.
I love that so much. So, Nilton, what do you think it was about you? Or, well, maybe this is a different way to ask it. Do you think that everybody, whether they're incarcerated or not, wants that? They want to understand themselves more? Or do you think it was something special about you?
I think everyone, even if they don't want to, because some people may not want to find out, like, it's like the truth, right? Like, I don't want to find out that I'm really this type of person or anything, but it's not even that. It's about how do you find out and see what you really love, and you find out all these things about you in order to, if you want to amend it, like, oh, I found out, like, I'm a really angry person at the time. Like, I was really closed up and this, but once I found all this stuff out about me, I was like, you know what, I need to change this. I'm not the great son that my mom wants me to be. I'm not the great brother. Like, at the time when I was incarcerated, I had cut off, like, my brothers. I wasn't talking to no one. My mom stopped visiting me on the second time. We weren't talking. And I was like, you know what? I'm alone. I was acting real, like, okay, I'm be selfish myself. And when I do my things, I'm not going to look out for my family as they didn't for me when I was locked up, stuff like that. But as I started finding out things about myself, I was like, you know what? I have to change. I cannot expect the world to change, and that's something you find out by, yourself. And I think everyone would like to know that, but because there's so much distractions in the outside world, like not being incarcerated, like I had all the time, think about it. I was in there. I just sit down, either I'm reading, working out, and then, they make us go to school too, but like most of the time it's like you don't have to worry about meals and bills and this and that. I had more time to think about it, reflect. Out here, even myself, sometimes I get distracted by, like social media and sometimes, and just in general, people, the things going on out here. I didn't worry about none of this when I was inside. So now sometimes I used to reflect every Sunday, like, this and this and that, what I'm doing wrong. Like, I still do it now, but it's harder because sometimes I forget, or things just got so busy on Sunday preparing for Monday. I was like, oh man, I didn't do my reflection, stuff like that. Like, I think everyone would benefit off of it. Some may want to maybe think they don't need to, because it's, like I said, it's so busy, so distracting. But like, once you really, like, in a situation like I was, not even being incarcerated, but once you're like, you closed everything off, like you have your time. I believe people can even do this outside by, just closing off themselves in their rooms, turning off their phones and really just thinking about, what am I doing wrong? What kind of person am I? What do I like to do? What do I really want to work in? Like, that type of questions I would ask myself,
That's amazing. And I love that we're talking about this, because you're right. Everybody has distraction,
Yeah.
Whether you're trying to make money, raise your family, go to school, all of this in the pressures. I mentioned that I have kids, and they have their own pressures in school of how to fit in and how to get their grades, and everybody has pressure and distraction. And to bring that in and have thoughtfulness around it, I love that you're talking about that, because there's no other way. There's no other way to get access to what's in there. And I believe everybody has greatness in them. But you're so remarkable, Milton, because it sounds like you found that on your own.
Yes. And like you just mentioned right now about the whole thing about worrying about all these other things, the reason why, like, I saw, like, the thing is you can look at a situation and be like, oh man, this is a negative. This is a downhill for me. I hate this situation. Like, for me at the time, that's how it was. But then I started looking, and even to this day, like, I look and be like, I think incarceration was one of the best things that happened to me, because if it didn't stop me from what I was doing then, imagine where I would be at now, looking at maybe even like after 18 at adult level, right? I was like, the things I was doing as a young adult, I would have gone way worse, maybe years for what I was doing now, maybe at the age I am now. But like the thing you just said about your sons, worrying about the trends and this and that, that's something that I think is great about like incarceration. They broke me down pretty much where like everyone there wears the same clothes. Everyone there eats the same food. Like it's like you're kind of like everyone's on the same level. That's why it gets you to think like, you don't have to worry about none of the stuff like that. Like everyone's here now. How, like, are you going to be different and be like, I want to be up here and do better? Or are you just going to be like everyone else that's in there, that's just kind of going through the same thing and like trying to get their time to go by? Like I was like really kind of like, how do I benefit off of this? While some people are in there like, this sucks, man. I'm just trying to get my time through. I don't want, this. I don't want to be here. Like that's why like a lot of the people that go in end up like for my second time. I said the first time I was all negative towards it. I was like, this is the worst place, and this is this. I just hated really bad on the situation, and I saw the positive in it.
So I want to ask this again, because what was it about you that made you have that awareness? Because you said a lot of people didn't. They just were passing time and they thought it was horrible. But was there something in your past? Was there something that you experienced, either a person, something you read, something that you saw that turned that light on for you, that you were able to transform from that experience?
I think for me, it was just being really cut off from the world, like from my family, myself, because I told you, like, everything that had put me, like, I think it had to break me down into like finding, myself and what I love to do. I didn't have, like I said, like, it wasn't a person, because at the time, like I said, I was cut off from my family. I really had no one to call. Like, it sucked not calling nobody, or it sucked calling them on the holidays and they're doing things, and stuff like that. Like, I was really, like, I felt like I was on my own. Like, that's why I'm telling you, like, I was really kind of like, man, I'm on my own. I do not know what to do. Like, the second time I was like, man, I'm about to turn 18. It's coming up, and I'm like, I really don't know what to do. I don't know what I want to work in. I don't want to work in no fashion. It started, like, I think the situation put me in there where it's like that light I had to turn on that light. It wasn't just like, oh, what was it that like, bing? No, it's like I had to figure out a plan for myself getting out. Like, I enjoy working, like, on the things I love to do, but then again, I don't enjoy making someone else's dream a reality either. I'd rather make my dreams a reality, but help others do the same as well. So I think that because of the whole situation, I had to go in there and like turn on the light myself and figure like, I cannot just wait for it to happen, because that's what I did the first time. And even after, I was like, I got a lot more religious the first time and stuff too. I was hoping something would happen. Like I was telling you, like, I was hoping that, oh man, something will happen to me. Like, I'll change, I'll find what I love to do. But it didn't happen. That's what got me back into the situation I was in. It was more like, no, I need to figure this out. Like, there has to be a process. Like, how do I start beginning to read more knowledge? Like, how do I start? There has to be some way I can just take action and not just wait one day and I'm at a penitentiary looking at, life. And I'm like, okay, now I know what I want to do. Like, not just wait on it,
I so love what you just said. You're not waiting for it to drop out of the sky, but it has to come from you. And there has to be a plan. But I think it's both, right? It's that time to like pull it in and have quiet time and space, which is kind of like, I think it's like a spiritual experience, but not like someone's going to come and save me, but it's like, okay, what is this? And then putting it into action. And I love what you said about writing the words down that you didn't know. I always talk about alignment. Like you were actively finding your alignment through mindfulness and through action that aligned with that desire to figure out what was the next thing for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
And too, like even though like people hate it in there, I think the little things like I even heard someone say this in a video this week, like the little things of making us do our bed and do this and that, they're building up discipline. Little did I know, I was like, I don't like doing this. Like, why we gotta wake up every morning, do our beds, to like, we're gonna come right back in a couple of 2 hours. Like these little things, we had to tidy up here, little lockers and this and that, whatever, doing those things. Like I'm telling you, like it was like it happened to line up. Like this was building my self-discipline. This was making me, like read, because I would actually have to sit down and things like that. So this situation, like I'm telling you, like I don't hope for anyone to say like, oh, so you're saying you have to get incarcerated to do this. It's not that. It's just this happened to be my situation, right? I took my negative and I turned it into a positive. Same thing if I had gotten into like a car crash and I almost died, and I'm like, you know what, I have to evaluate the situation. How can I do better? How can I get myself out of being in that type of situation? It's like any type of situation in life, just make it into a positive. A lot of people like to make it into a negative. Like, man, that's what held me back. That's why I can't be an entrepreneur, because I was on probation. I owe so much money, and I wasted so much time. Like, I could have said that easily. That's the easy way out, you know? But me, I was like, you know what? This is actually going to help me in the long term, and I just got to leverage it.
That's right. I love what you said. I think it was Gary Vaynerchuk who was talking about people who are hustling on the street are like the original entrepreneurs, right? They're hustling, they're doing it. It's just that the end goal is like the way they're doing it, but the hustle part of it, and they're trying to get ahead the best way they know how. So I love that, you know, you had the forethought to think, you know, there's a part of this that's good. Like there's a part like this desire to get ahead. It's not the right way to do it, but then transforming it into this other way. And I love it because of the potential that you have to go and be an example and change lives for so many other people. And so I know that you're doing some of that. Talk to us a little bit about how you're reaching back and helping people, you know, avoid some of the pitfalls that you've had to experience.
Yeah, so at the beginning, I used to always be, like you said, like it was the wrong end goal. And even then I was being too selfish, right? And I've learned that after doing what I'm doing and learning more about myself, it's about going into business being, you know, you got to be selfish as like you want better for yourself, but you also want to be giving towards others. So that's why I started like heavily focusing on, like, you know, how can I be selfish for myself, for my time and the things I do, but also give back. So like sometimes even now, like I help my brothers, like my older brother. So I have two older brothers, right? My oldest one, he's been doing entrepreneurships like around the same time as me, before me actually, and he started his company. Now he works, you know, with SERVAMEDIA and what we do. My other brother was exactly kind of like he went through what I went through. You know, he was incarcerated when I was incarcerated last year. He had a 2015-16 when I switched over. So he was like me, lost cause and trying to do this and going through the streets. And I said to myself, I want to really focus on him, because I think that like it's a number game, right? If I can really help him, I know I can help anyone, right? Because some people want to help a mass, and the thing that they've not focused on is like, how do you have someone and get them from here, point A to point B, versus getting a whole group from point A and not even to like halfway to B, like, and they leave them hanging. Like, I want to make sure that the things I say and do and even talk about, like when I do speakings, really well thought out for, you know, him. And then like I want to eventually get it onto a lot of more people. But even then, like I talk to people all the time about like, you know, this is what I did. You know, don't make the same mistakes. I have a lot of like younger siblings. I have two sisters, and then I have a lot of younger cousins and stuff like that. I try to, you know, push forward, because it's funny because a lot of my cousins are trying to get into business. I'm like, is this something like in the family? Like a lot of us are entrepreneurial, but either way, like I believe that anyone that really, you know, wants to change and wants to do kind of similar things what I'm doing, they'll listen, right? You cannot force this on someone. You know, I've tried doing it. I have friends, I have some family where I was like, you know, this is it, guys. Like, you know, I want you to, you know, this is how you can really be financially free, or, you know, whatever the case is, how they look at it. But it's like they don't, like they say, yeah, I love it. Like I really want to be my own boss. I want to create my thing. But it's like the next day, it's like all that was forgotten. So you cannot force someone to listen to you. It's like when I talk to somebody, I can tell like, oh, they're practicing it. They're doing what I'm saying. They're doing the things. So like that's how I help and give. Like I want to give to everyone, but I also know that you have to give to the people that really want to change, because giving me information and everything. The first time I was incarcerated, I would have threw it out the window. The second time, anyone that came, if Elon Musk came to visit me, I would have took everything he said and like made sure I practiced it. He said, wake up early. I would have woke up early. But the first time, I'm like, who is that guy? You know? So it's really had to be willing to, which is why I tell people like, man, are you willing to to do what I'm doing and like really take in what like this is the path that might be for you. And they say yes, and then I go forward with it. I help even individuals. I like to do that because I'm more of an in-person, one-on-one at first to hopefully get to the masses.
Yeah, and I think a couple of things about what you said. First of all, I love that it's family, community, country, world. You start with your own and then you expand, right? And like you make those impacts where it matters most and then you expand. I love that. And then the other thing is, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But if you're not ready, you're not ready. But that doesn't mean that you stop spreading your message, because you never know. That seed is planted for somebody. They might not be ready, but when they are ready, they'll be like, oh man, that's what Nilton was talking about. Right? Yeah. So you're still like helping people and getting that mission out there and getting the word out there, even if they're not ready, right? You've done the job of planting the seed, and you don't know how that seed is going to grow inside their heart, inside their head.
Yeah, and even how you just said in the beginning, that's one way of going at it. Like I remember when I got out of incarceration, I said, the thing is, people really don't know where to start, right? For me, it was like, how do I get to know the next highest people above me? Like that's how I looked at it, right? I was like, oh, college students. When I got to college, I said, now who's above college students here? They're all student government. So I joined student government. I joined the honor program. I started my own business club. So like I said, like I have to surround myself around people that are doing better than me all the time. And then that's how I ended up finding more like relationships, because in student government, someone, even the computer science club, someone had mentioned an event that was going on. And that was the one I presented my idea at the Caper Center and won third place. So that just, I didn't know that would ever happen, but it happened because I got involved in like, these things. But then after that, I started doing like the local speakings. I remember I was doing, before I was doing like huge speakings and everything like that, like even for the nonprofit organization, Bay Area Community Resources, I did a little speech, for their graduation. It was like, I think 5 of us, and the rest were adults, in the room. And I gave it, like for me, anytime I get to speak, even that little room, I gave it all I got. I was like, you know what, this is how I see the world. This is what I want you guys to see, because it's like a small graduation. This program is to help people like me, they're in probation or out of school or in school. Like it's to help them, with resources, right? So any chance I got like that, it was locally, it was small, and I was like, I never took it for granted. I never said, oh, you know what, it's poor people, let me just not give it my all, I was like, I always gave it my all. And then when I did like for larger ones, like the Earn and Learn East Bay, it was like, this is like 100 plus, 150 plus employers. I was like, and that got me like, man, this is more serious. But then the same thing, I gave them the same hard message, just from a younger perspective, from the side that they want to see, like, they're looking for how to hire these type of people and everything. So anytime I feel the room, I figure what's the message, but then I give it the same strength, the same, drive that I want these people to see come out of me. It's always the same time, even if it's one person, if it's 5 people, or if it's 500.
Wow. I just love everything you're saying. So I know you have a TED Talk coming up, right?
Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So what is on your horizon? What is the next big thing that you want to really do in terms of impact?
Well, right now, what I've really been trying to do is, I mentioned to you, is about creating that platform, right? I really think that there's no place, well, there's a couple places that I know, like in these groups and stuff on Facebook and stuff like that, but I really want to make, a version of it like myself, and like, how do we collect these entrepreneurs to solve real problems, right? I see there's like, no matter what I'm doing in my business, right, it's always going to have an impact. What I do with my speaking is going to have an impact, but I think the greatest leader creates other leaders, right? So what I'm trying to do is not just to be the one to follow me, listen to me. No, I want everyone else to have the message or take on this message of mine and make it their own, amend it, whatever. But we all have the same kind of backbone that we stand on. And that's what I want to do. Like what I was telling you about SERVA with the acronym, Serious Entrepreneurs Resolving Valuable Advancement. It came to me because I think that we can create like entrepreneurs, like not just like, for me, entrepreneurship, it's really kind of like, there's these products, there's these things that you can sell and make money and be a millionaire and all this stuff, whatever. But I'm more of like, how do we like solve the problems, right, that we are facing today? That's why I really look up to Elon Musk. He's an entrepreneur himself, but look at the things he's doing. Those things are amazing, and I really look up to him. I want to create a lot of those type of people. I want to be able to be like, look, entrepreneurship is a tool, is a way to amplify the way we solve problems and create advancement. How do we get that type of thinking? Not just like, hey, like how people have done it now, where like they glorify entrepreneurship as the guy with the most money, the most cars, the most girls, whatever the case. Like people put that on that level, and I've seen it, with all the quotes and things, the Instagram pages people are making. For me, it's more deeper than that. Like I told you, entrepreneurship, I gave it even more meaning to what it is to me. And I see it as, like I said, the tool, the way we can amplify ourselves, the way we solve problems, the way we differentiate ourselves. Like that's what I want people to focus on. Like look at entrepreneurship more socially, and then how can we, make this thing like huge? Like how can I want to see myself like in the beginning stages now, like a more realistic goal. Like how do I get like my brother or someone that I work closely with to be an entrepreneur, like actually carry out their plan and solving a problem, and like, man, like I helped you, and now I want you to go help the next person, right? And keep that going and going and going, so we can create this group, this abundance of people. And like I said, even having this platform that helps organize this type of work, this type of people, I think that's something that I really want to leave behind, because I know eventually I will pass away and I will not be here to create these or innovate these new things and all that. But I know as long as we can keep the cycle going of like what really entrepreneurship means to me and to the rest of the people that I work with, that can go on forever in my family and your family and my friend's family. And that's something that I will see forever long lasting.
Oh my God, Nilton, I'm going to hug my screen. You're awesome. And I love what you're saying, and I think that I feel so happy that we connected, because I'm excited for people to hear this message. I hope that somewhere along the line, Elon Musk sees the podcast and hears about you. And I mean, I don't know, because I think what you're saying is right on. And the way that we connected. I mean, I live in Boston. I'm a mom of 3 kids. You're a young kid out in California, and we connected through social media, through a deeper post that I posted, right? It was a deeper post. It was about your story and how your story can change your life. So,
yeah. And just a quick thing, like for people to like, this is a quick tip, maybe that'll help people. That how I met you, like how you just said it perfectly, like that was all because of like I'm constantly on it, reaching out to people. Like people don't see like this is another tool that another way they can look at it. Social media is not just a place of distraction. It's not just a place of posting photos and friends and this. Like I use that as a way to get in contact with people like you, like-minded entrepreneurs. Like I was reaching out that day, and then I haven't done it this week because I've been really busy, but that's how I do it. Like I got into another podcast last week. Same thing. I was reaching out. Like I send these personal messages, and I reach out. I check out what the work that people do. Like it takes some time, but some people don't realize it. Like it's a way for you to get to meet people, network with other individuals, but it's time. But that's what you're supposed to be building, instead of actually just sitting on social media and like, this post looks nice, click, this looks nice, boom, boom. Oh, he's, she's pretty, he's handsome, this and that. Like use it in a way that is benefiting you, and things like this happen. I would never expect this to come from just, oh man, I reached out to her on Instagram and this happened. Next thing you know, we're here. Like that's the beauty of what like social media can do, because I focus on the negatives, like this can happen, bullying. Yes, all that can happen. But like I said, look at something negative and let's turn it into a positive.
Yeah, I love that. And I agree with you 100%. And also, like another piece that I would add is to trust that feeling, because, we didn't just go, hey, let's go on a podcast together. It was like, hey, what's your story? Okay, what's your story? And, as we kind of like went along the path, we were both like, okay, is this person someone I want to continue this conversation with? And to trust that feeling. And I think that's something that you were talking about before, like getting into alignment. So, and, honestly, I was like, I don't know why this is happening, but I know it's happening for a reason. I know that this is supposed to happen for a reason. So, and now I'm so glad that we did meet, because I know so many people are going to benefit from hearing the message.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. So, Nilton, as we just finish up, I really want to acknowledge you and say how impressed I am with you. I mean, when I think back to what I was doing when I was 19, it definitely was not what you are doing. And I know that you are going to change the world in such a positive way. You blow my mind. I mean, how you really have turned your life around and are using it to impact your family, the people that you love, the people that are immediate to you, and also how that ripple effect is going to happen in so many other ways to help people who might otherwise be lost. And that's how we're really going to change the country around and change people's opinions about the potential in a human being. So I really want to honor you for doing that and tell you how impressed I am.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So one last question. What does it mean to you to thrive?
Oh, my bad, it cut off a little bit at the end.
What does it mean to you to thrive?
Oh, to thrive. Oh, that's easy. It's like, how do I make myself just do what I can do the best and be a success at it? Because thrive is just, how do I throw myself? How do I get myself involved in what I love to do, my passion, and just be the best at it? Like really so good at it where people see it like, man, it's bulging out. Like people tell me like, oh man, Nilton, like in my town is like the entrepreneur. Like they say it like that, which I love, because that just shows that I'm thriving in it. I'm going in it hard, and I'm just doing it and doing it and doing it so people can see it and eventually, like you said, impact them.
Definitely. Wow. Well, thank you so much for being on here. I can't wait to watch you and see what happens, down the road. It's going to be amazing. Super exciting. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Heather. It was nice being on the show. I love giving out my message and love being on this, what we've been talking about. So I really hope that, we can keep in touch. And like I said, even for the people that are listening to, they can always reach me, through social media. Everything is my Nilton Serva. And if anyone wants to talk about, their story or how, advice or whatever the case is, I'm always available. So it's at niltonserva.com, SERVA, and you're obviously on Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, any social media. I have every social media. It's all at Nilton Serva, NILTON SERVA. Everything's under that handle. And my personal website, if they want to read, check out the story as well. It's just niltonserva.com. And they can, from there, all my social media is on our YouTube, social, Snapchat, everything. So if they want to reach me. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much. Take care. And until next time, thank you all for joining us. Here's to hitting all your high notes. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone. It's Heather again. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Thrive. Every week, we try to bring you people and information to help you change your life for the better, to grow your business, to expand your thinking, and to open your heart. If you did enjoy this content, I would so appreciate it if you would go to iTunes and review us. Let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your feedback. And if you found this information helpful or useful in any way, please share it on out. Let your friends and family know about Thrive. And finally, if you'd like to know more about me, you can visit me at heatherpoduska.com. Until next time, here's to hitting all your high notes.